Hi, I'm Sergi on the Way to Move channel. Today we'll talk in details how to animate HTML5 banners using Adobe Animate. I will do this banner for myself all in real time, so I hope it will be interesting for people who are interested in this topic. I will use this banner for my Google campaign, for my landing page, so I'm sure it should be a good experience for beginners. So let's start. Our empty file in Adobe Animate. So now we need to put here our static design, what I made in Adobe Illustrator in the last lesson. If you still didn't watch the lesson on how to make static design, please see it. I will put notifications somewhere there. So let's open our Adobe Illustrator file. And now we need to select all elements and make copy-paste to Adobe Animate. Before copying, better to make all our text outlines, to make it curves, because in some cases user cannot have this font not usual, so better to make it outlined. To make all the elements outlined, we need to select them all and press Ctrl plus Shift plus O. Now we see all the text become curves. So now we need to select all of them, press Ctrl C, open our file in Adobe Animate and press Ctrl V, like this. Okay, the next step, we need to put each element on the separate layer. To make animation, we also need make every element what we want to animate, we need to make it movie clips, because you cannot just make animation for the element without making movie clips. To make movie clips, we need to select element what we want to animate and press F8 and give it the name. I selected background, so I give it the name BG. As we can see, it's bring to front. So we need to cut it, press Ctrl X and give it the separate layer and paste it here and lock. Just to have opportunity to select other elements without selecting this background. Also I want to break apart this text because I want to animate in different ways each part of this text. To break it apart, we need to select this element and press Ctrl plus B, like this. We see that it was broken to the parts. So now we can select the first, second 4, make movie clip from it, press F8, like this. It's the text 1, I'll give the name T1. This will be text 2, F8, T2. Text 3, and the question mark will be text 4. The line name line, this line 2, T5, and the logo. So now we can unlock our layer, select all the layers, and now the magic has happened. We just need to select all elements and press right click and select this distribute to layers. So now we can see all the layers were created with the name we gave each one of them. So from this point we can start our animation. We can see all elements now on the first frame. To make animation we need to extend them on the time. So to extend the time we need to press F5. First select important element and press F5. We see now
this element is moving in the time. So we can check that now 1 second, 2 seconds, these elements now exist in 2 seconds we gave them, but all rest elements only in the first frame. Background we don't need to animate, it's just need to stay on the time. I'm pressing F5 again. My first text, I just want to make animation of appearing from transparency. This effect has the name fade in. To make animation we need a start point, end point, and between them animation happens. To make end point we need to create keyframe. So it marks off this black point. So it will be like this in our end point. So at the first point we need to change some properties of this element. In our case I want to fade it from transparency, so I need to make it transparent. To do this I need to go to properties here, and in color effects I need to select alpha, and I can change this property of alpha. I need to make 0. So now we have 2 points, and if we will click, we need to click in the middle and click right click mouse button, and here create classic twin. Now we see that an animation happens like this. Here we need to press F5 to extend it in time. Animation of our first text is completed. We can check how it was in the original banner. Let's check animation again. We see that the line is underlined, move to the bottom, and text appearing under this line. How to do this? At first I need to select line here. It will be in the endpoint here, but at first I want this line underline our first text. So I need to put it somewhere there, and we see that the width of the line was shorter at the beginning, like the width of our first text here, like this, and then it becomes bigger. So at this point we need to reduce width. To reduce width and height we need to use the transform tool. We can do it by pressing Q. If we press Q, we see this changing, so we can now reduce the width like this. Now we need to copy this keyframe to our first point. We can do it by right-click, copy frames, select here and paste frames. Now it's the same. And we need to reduce width again. When we click Create Classic Twin, we see now animation happen like this. But now speed of the animation is regular. I prefer, according to the principle of animation, which I talked before in the last lessons. I recommend to see all the lessons about principle of animation also. We need to make deceleration. To do it, we need to click somewhere in the middle of animation, and here in properties near the classic keys, we see this 0 digit. We need to drag it to the up. And when it becomes 100, it means that animation have deceleration, like it goes slow down in the end, like this. So the line after becomes underline, then after some time it starts moving down to this point. So we need to create classic twin again, and we see that this line moving. But speed again regular. We need to decelerate it same way, like this. It looks more nice. So now we can check the words appearing behind this line. How to do this? We need to take our text, also to copy keyframes, we cannot just click copy frames, paste frames. We can just select them all, and by pressing Alt we can drag it, and it will be the same copy function. There we need to move it a little bit down here. I'll use guides just to make it more accuracy. To turn on guides, we need to press Ctrl plus Shift plus Alt plus R, like this. We can drag guides. It's very helpful. So now we can be sure that our text not crossing this line at the first point. Now we can create animation of them all, like this. But not with question mark. We see that our question mark animation happens another way from the top, falling from the top. So here we can delete our classic twin, delete this keyframe, and leave it for the future. Okay, let's do animation of these HTML5 banners. Now we need to implement mask for it, because we see that they are appearing like under this line. So to do this we need mask. For creating mask we need to create new layer. Now we need to create empty keyframe by pressing F7, like this. It's empty. Now we see transparent dot here, and there we need to create mask. Mask can be any shape. In our case it will be rectangle. So here I'll make another guide like this. And using this rectangle tool, in this empty keyframe, I'll create rectangle. It doesn't matter what the color, it can be any color. And now we need to create movie clip from it by pressing F8. like before, and name M. If we press distribute to layers, this layer gives the same name. To implement mask, we need to click, we need to select this layer and click on it and select mask, like this. And now we see that mask implement only for the word banners. It happened because only the mask implements only to the one layer. To implement it to another layer, we need to drag it under the mask also, like this, here, like this. And when we lock it, we see that our mask now working for all layers we selected. But now we see that our words crossing the line, we don't need it. So to do this, we need to move our mask the same way like moving this line. So how to do this? I unlock, make keyframe, this then keyframe where line now, but the first point will be where line was before, here. When we create animation, classic twin, and decelerate, we can notice that our mask moving same like our line. So we can now lock the layers and we see that text appearing like from this line, under this line. So I'm satisfied how this animation looks. Now I need to extend the time for this layer. We can extend time for a layer, just we need to select all the layer using Shift like this and press F5. Yes. So let's make animation for the question mark. Question mark, we can see that it's fallen from the top, like this. It's fallen also using the principle of animation. I hope you saw all this lesson. So let's do this. Make keyframe. In the first keyframe, we put it somewhere there. To make fallen more looks professional, we need to do same way like I told in the lesson about principle of animation. Like just we have 3 points. Start point, the second point when it duck a little bit, like this, little bit squash. Here the final point. And in the first point we need to increase a little bit height of it. It's also according to the principle of animation. So when we create the twin, it will be like this. But now speed is regular, we need to change it. Here will be deceleration, but in the first part of movement should be acceleration. Because when you are falling, you accelerate speed. To do this, we need to drag this 0 not to the top, but to the bottom, like this. Now we can check that it looks more like usual falling. Also at this point, I want to change transparency, like this. Yeah, that's ready. Now let's animate our rest elements. Let's drag it here. This line I will animate same like our first line. Let's create the final point, and at the first point I will decrease the width using transform tool. Create classic twin like this, and extend in time F5. Let's try creating 2 keyframes, and in the first keyframes I want to move it a little bit to the left and change opacity. Create classic twin, decelerate it like this. Now extend in time. Logo. How I made logo. We see that logo fallen from the line using mask, same way. Put it somewhere there. Using Alt, we can copy keyframe to here, put it over the line, create classic twin, decelerate. But now we need to create mask again from it to it. Because we want it to fall also under the line, so we can copy our mask. To copy layers, we need to click right mouse button and select duplicate layers, like this. Now we are drag over the layer we need. Here I just delete, we don't need this animation, remove classic twin. And I bring this keyframe here to our animation. We need to put our mask at this side of our line and drag it a little bit to the right, like this. And now we can implement mask to the logo. Right click. It's already selected mask, but we need to drag this layer over the mask, like this. Now we can lock. When we lock layers, we don't see mask, but see the final result, how it will look. That's all. Animation is ready. To reduce the dead frames, we can select using Shift all the layers and press Shift F5. It means that we reduce time extending just to this point. Now we can check how animation will look like in the browser. We need to make compilation. To do this, we need to click Ctrl plus Enter, and we'll check now how it looks in browser. Like this. But we see now that banner is not looped, because to loop the banner well, we need that our first frame be the same like our end frame, just not to notice this blinking. So now we have first frame, just empty background, but in the end frame we have this, we see all the elements. So we need to make our end frame the same like first frame. For this we can just select all the layers extend in time using F5, and in the end frame. So now we are finding point where we want to decrease all transparency, so we can select all our layers, make keyframe for all of them, or only background we don't touch. And in the end frame, we are decrease opacity for all of them. Like this. And they are all fading. Now make a compilation. So now we see that animation looks more nice, more comfortable for our eyes. I hope I didn't forget to animate anything. Let's check our original banner. I see HTML5 is blinking, because I need to emphasize that the main message is HTML5 banners. So let's make blinking for HTML5. To blink it, now here we have nothing happens at this time, only logo fallen. So somewhere here we can blink HTML5. So we need to select it, make 3 keyframes, and in the middle we just need to, using our transform tool, click Q again and decrease the size a little bit, like this. So now we can create classic twin, make deceleration, and we will have this blinking. So now let's compile again and check. I don't like something that looks like the word's not on the same line. To fix it, we can just select it, double click to go inside this movie clip and just put it a little bit upper, like this. Little bit again. Yeah, now it looks better.
Thank you for watching. That's all. I hope it was interesting. Subscribe please to my channel if you still haven't do it. And see you in the next lesson. Bye.